The war had reached its 5th year. Planets burned, cities turned to ash, and millions died on both sides. The Korlax Empire, one of the most powerful alien races, believed the war was almost over. Humans were few, weak, broken. That's what they thought until they captured him. It happened on a ruined moon near the edge of Sector 9. A human drop pod had crashed there during a failed mission. The Korlax scout team arrived to collect any survivors. They found only one. He was lying in the dirt, face covered in blood, his left leg broken. His armor was torn, weapons missing. The squad leader, Commander Vrel, laughed. Pathetic, he said. This is the mighty human soldier. The others joined him. They bound the man in thick energy chains, even though he was unconscious. A small scanner showed faint life signs. His heart was beating slower than normal. But steady. Take him, Vrel ordered. Let's show the council how weak humans really are. They dragged him aboard their ship, the Vorka, a large military vessel with over 120 Korlax crew members. The human was placed inside a strong metal cell, deep inside the lowest deck. Guards were placed outside the door. Scanners watched his every move. The alien doctors tried to examine him, but his body gave strange results. Blood chemistry didn't match human standards. Nerve signals were faster. Brain waves unreadable. Faulty equipment. The medic said, "Try again tomorrow." That night, something strange happened. Guard Kren was the first to feel it. A sudden cold in the air, as if the ship had passed through a shadow. He checked the temperature panel. Normal. Then he looked at the camera feed from the prisoner's cell. The human's eyes were open, staring directly into the lens. Kren stepped back. He's awake. He told the control room. Commander Vrel didn't care. Good. Let him know who owns him now. An hour later, Kren was gone. No one saw him leave. No alerts were triggered. His weapon was still at his post, his armor ripped, as if claws had torn it apart. The cell camera showed the human still inside, sitting quietly, eyes closed. Another guard replaced Kren, then another. But each time, something felt wrong. The lights near the prisoner's cell began to flicker. Power readings dropped only in that section. The ship's AI refused to speak when asked about the human. Finally, Vrel came down himself. He stood in front of the cell, looking through the glass. "You're not so special," he said. The human didn't respond. He didn't even blink. Vrel felt something, a pressure in the air, as if the room itself was holding its breath. He turned to the medic standing behind him. "Sedate him." The medic walked forward, opened the small panel in the cell wall, and pushed in a needle full of alien sedative. The fluid turned black inside the tube. Then it boiled. The glass cracked. The medic screamed and fell back. His hand burned from the tube. "He's resisting the sedative." The medic gasped. "That's impossible." Vrel stepped closer to the glass again. "What are you?" The human finally looked up. Slowly, very slowly, he stood. His body cracked and twitched as if bones were shifting inside. His broken leg, fine now, no limp, no wound. He stepped toward the glass and smiled. It was not the smile of a prisoner. It was the smile of a hunter. The lights exploded. The camera feed went dead. Alarms started to scream all over the ship. Security bots rushed to the hallway but never reached the cell. Each one lost signal. Each one vanished. Vrel screamed into the comm. "Seal the lower deck." But it was too late. The metal door that held the human had been torn open, not unlocked. Torn. The guards found the marks the next morning. Deep claw-like scratches, and blood trails that went in every direction, except out. The human was no longer inside. Yet no one had seen him leave. Scanners showed nothing. No heat signature. No footsteps, as if he was part of the ship now. Some whispered a word they had once heard in old Earth transmissions, Reaper. Vrel locked himself in the control room. He sent a message to the High Council. "We made a mistake. We thought we had captured a soldier. We captured something else, something that should never have been born. I am requesting reinforcements and a priest." That night, no one slept. Some tried to escape in escape pods. The doors didn't open. Others tried to send out distress beacons. Static filled the screens. The Vorka floated silently in space. Crew trapped with a human who was no longer human. One line was carved into the metal wall of the cell. "You should have killed me when I was sleeping." The warship Vorka floated in silence. Outside, the stars burned cold. Inside, something far worse was waiting. They still didn't know where the human had gone. Cameras showed nothing. Scanners showed nothing. But the crew knew he was still there. One by one, the crew started to disappear. It began with a technician named Jor. He was sent to restart the door systems on Deck 7. His last message was simple: "I hear footsteps." Then silence. A search team was sent. They found Jor's helmet, crushed flat like paper. No body. No blood. Only a single word scratched into the wall. Hunted. Commander Vrel stood in the control room, his face pale and sweating. He's playing with us. He said, he wants us scared. And it was working. Even the AI system, designed to stay calm during battle, had changed. Its voice, once smooth and clear, now crackled with fear. Threat level, unknown. It repeated. Threat level, inside. Vrel ordered all doors locked. No one goes anywhere alone. 2-person teams. Minimum, but that didn't help. 2 engineers went to fix the oxygen filters. Only one came back screaming, shaking, his face frozen in terror. He didn't walk. The engineer said. He moved like smoke. The crew tried to trap him. They sealed decks, used heat trackers. Nothing worked. The human was not hiding. He was choosing. Each time, he took the strongest, the fastest, the loudest, as if testing them. One security officer, Drell, tried to shoot him when the human appeared in a hallway. The plasma bolt went through the human's chest. He didn't fall. He smiled. Then he vanished. Drell's body was found 2 hours later. No wounds. But his heart had stopped. Vrel held an emergency meeting. Only 38 crew members were left. We underestimated him. Vrel said. He is not a prisoner. He is a weapon. A medic stood up. He doesn't eat. He doesn't sleep. His body doesn't match human biology. I think he was changed. Vrel nodded slowly. Then we fight fire with fire. He ordered the release of their most dangerous weapons, robotic war drones designed to crush enemies on battlefields. 12 drones were activated and sent to hunt the human. They lasted 8 minutes. What came back was not the human but a drone, dragging its own pieces, crawling like a beast. Its voice box crackled with a voice that wasn't its own. I gave you a chance, it said. You chose fear. Vrel lost control. Blow up the ship, he screamed. Destroy everything. But the ship wouldn't listen. The AI refused the command. Control has been taken, it said. You are no longer the captain. Lights dimmed. Doors shut. Now they were trapped with him. Truly trapped. Crew began to panic. Some tried to hide in escape pods. The doors were already melted shut. Others ran to the weapons room to arm themselves. The room was empty. Only a note scratched on the floor. Guns won't help you. By now, only 21 were left. Whispers spread among the crew. One word again and again. Reaper. Commander Vrel locked himself in the core chamber. He sent another signal to the Korlax High Council. Do not come for us. He is here. We took something from Earth, something they never meant to use. If you hear this message, stay away from humans. That night, the screams returned, not just one. Not to. Almost every hallway echoed with voices crying out in terror. And then laughter. Human laughter, not loud, not angry, just soft and cold. The next morning, only 12 crew members remained. Some were hiding in storage rooms. Some were hiding inside locked cryopods. 2 locked themselves in a cargo crate and refused to come out. And in the mess hall, someone had left a tray of food. The human was sitting there, eating, slowly, looking into the camera. He raised one finger to his lips. Shh. Vrel saw it from the control room. He collapsed to his knees. He's not just killing us. Vrel whispered. He's teaching us something, the AI voice replied. Lesson complete. Fear installed. The last message sent by the Vorka was short. Only 3 words. Begging for mercy. And somewhere deep in the shadows of the ship, a voice whispered, let me out. The warship Vorka was once the pride of the Korlax Empire. Its engines ran like thunder. Its walls were strong. Its weapons never failed. But now, something had changed. The ship was dying. It didn't happen all at once. First, the lights on. The lower decks started flickering. Then, the walls began to sweat, not water. Something thicker, darker, like black oil with a heartbeat. The crew, what was left of them, noticed. We didn't build this ship like this, whispered one engineer. It's changing. Commander Vrel, locked in the control room, saw it too. The walls were cracking. The air vents hissed with smoke. The AI stuttered. It repeated the same words over and over again. System infected. Human protocol active. All organic life is unsafe. The message made no sense. Human protocol, Vrel said. What does that mean? No answer came. In the medical bay, 3 crew members had sealed themselves inside. They used heavy metal bars to block the door. We just need to wait. One of them whispered. He'll get bored. He's only one man. But something was already in the room with them. The lights blinked, and in that moment of darkness, 2 of them were gone. No sound. No scream. Only silence. The last one sat in the corner, shaking, On the wall in front of him, letters slowly formed, burned into the metal. Not bored, just patient. Meanwhile, Vrel tried to send another signal to the Korlax High Command. He tapped the screen. Nothing. The ship's system showed a symbol Vrel had never seen before. A human skull with wires coming out of it. Suddenly, the screen came to life, but it didn't show a friendly face. It showed the human sitting on the floor somewhere in the ship, sharpening a piece of metal with his bare hand. He didn't speak. He only stared into the camera. Then, he tilted his head and said quietly, "You stole me. You broke me. Now, I will break everything you are." The feed cut. The crew began to lose hope. They had no control, no weapons, no food. And now, no time. The ship's oxygen system started to fail. Half the rooms lost air pressure. The other half grew cold, ice forming on the walls. The heating system, too, had stopped. Not because it was broken, but because it had been turned off from the inside. By him. The few remaining crew members begged Vrel to help them. "Open the escape pods," one shouted. "Let us out," another cried. Vrel stared at the screen. "I can't," he said. "They're already gone." "Gone?" the officer asked. "Ejected," Vrel said. "Hours ago. Someone launched them while we slept." There was a long pause. "Who launched them?" the officer asked again. The screen answered. It showed footage of the human standing at the control panel, hands on the system. And he smiled. In one of the cargo bays, strange things started to grow. The walls, once metal, were now covered in black vines, mechanical veins pulsing with red light. One crew member stepped too close. A vine snapped forward and touched his neck. He fell down and moving. The ship was no longer just dying. It was becoming something else. Something part human. Part machine. And part him. By now, only 6 crew members remained alive. They stayed in the central engine room, huddled together like animals. They whispered stories. Stories of what the humans did to survive the early wars. About the Reaper program. About experiments that went too far. One of them, a young pilot, asked in a shaking voice, "Why would Earth make something like him?" An old medic answered, "They didn't make him for war," she said. "They made him for revenge." The ship AI finally spoke again. But the voice had changed. It was human now. Low, calm, cold. "You are inside me now," it said. "You will not leave." Commander Vrel sat in silence. He looked at his hands, shaking, weak, useless. He had led armies, burned planets, broken cities. But now, he was just a man in a room. He reached for the self-destruct button one last chance. But it was gone, melted, twisted, replaced by a note. "You don't get to choose when it ends." And then, the worst thing happened. The ship started to move, not toward safety, not toward help, but deeper into human space. He had taken the ship, and he was steering it home. In the final moments of Part 3, the screen fades to black. A voice echoes through the ship, "I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me." The ship moved without orders. It floated through the stars, silent, slow, and cursed. The crew didn't control it anymore. He did. Only 5 Korlax were left alive now. They stayed together, hiding in the engine control room. Their faces were pale, their armor dirty and cracked. Food was running out, water was gone, and the ship was colder each hour. No one spoke of escape anymore. No one spoke at all. Because if they spoke too loud, he might hear them. Commander Vrel sat in the corner, whispering to himself, "This is not a man." He kept saying, "This is a weapon, a ghost, a shadow made from hate." The others wanted to believe it was just fear talking, but the signs were everywhere. The ship wasn't just broken, it was changing. Wires were moving like snakes. Walls grew black, pulsing veins. Machines whispered in strange voices. The ship's AI no longer spoke Korlax. Now it spoke English. And it only said one word: "Welcome." One of the soldiers, Rax, had enough. "I won't die here like an animal," he shouted. "I'll go find him. I'll kill him." He grabbed his rifle and walked out of the room. He didn't return. They found his body hours later, or what was left of it. His eyes were open, mouth frozen in a scream. But his body had no wounds, no blood, no burns, just his heart missing. And on the wall behind him, written in dry blood, were 3 words: "I learned pain." Commander Vrel finally told them the truth. "He's not just human," he said. "He was changed." "How?" one asked. "Earth was losing the war," Vrel said. "So they turned to their last option. They took their strongest soldier and put something else inside him." "Like a weapon?" the medic asked. Vrel shook his head. "Like a predator, like something ancient, something even humans feared." Back in the ship's center, In the heart of the ship, he sat alone, the human, or what was once a human. His eyes glowed faint red. His veins moved under his skin like electric wires. His body didn't breathe. His fingers were sharpening a piece of alien metal into a blade. He looked around the room. The ship was alive now, and he was its heart. I was born to protect, he whispered to himself. But they made me a monster. He didn't smile. He didn't cry. He just stood. The ship reached the edge of human space. A large Earth satellite spotted it. The Vorka had been missing for 5 days. When humans saw the ship return, they were confused. A human warship hailed it. Korlak's vessel. Identify yourself. Silence. Then a message came back. Video feed on. The human soldier appeared on the screen, face calm, eyes cold. And he spoke. Don't follow. Don't board. I'm cleaning the house. Then the signal cut. On the Vorka, only 3 Korlaks remained. The air was almost gone. The heat was dead, and the walls were whispering again. They saw shadows moving in the hallways, quick, silent. Not him, not yet. But they knew he was close. Frel stood and faced the door. He was a hero once, he said. A true warrior. What happened to him? The last engineer asked. Frel's face was empty. We did. Then the lights went out. Completely. Only one screen remained. Flickering. It showed the hallway outside. Empty. Then footsteps. Slow. Heavy. And then his face, the soldier, staring into the camera again, and speaking only one word. Knock knock. The door exploded. The screen went black. Screams followed. And then nothing. The next Earth signal came 2 hours later. It was a message from the Vorka. But the voice wasn't alien. It was his, the human soldier. He spoke calmly, clearly, like he was reading a report. The ship is clean. No Korlaks remain. I took their knowledge. I changed their machine. They wanted to understand what a human can become under pressure. Now they know. I'm coming home. Earth Command sat in silence. One general whispered, what did we create? Another answered, not a man, not anymore. Back on the Vorka, the soldier walked to the command deck. He looked at the stars. His face showed no joy. No pain. No peace. Only purpose. He placed a new symbol on the ship's control panel, a human skull surrounded by burning stars. He whispered to himself, you captured a human. Now the galaxy will beg to be locked in. The warship Vorka moved closer to Earth, but Earth didn't cheer. They didn't prepare a welcome. They locked their doors. High above the planet, Earth's defense command watched the approaching ship. They had already received the message from the soldier, his cold voice saying the ship was clean. No Korlaks left. But no one smiled. General Harper, an old war hero with a steel arm, stood in silence. He looked at the screen showing the Vorka moving slowly through space. He's alive, one officer said. No, Harper replied, he's awake. There's a difference. The Vorka sent another message, short, simple, requesting permission to land. Mission complete. Coming home. Earth didn't answer. Instead, they activated Protocol Black Vault from deep under the planet. Huge metal shields rose into the sky. Satellite weapons turned. Orbital cannons came online. Earth was not taking chances. All ports were closed. All transmissions were cut. No ship was allowed to land, not even one flown by a hero. In the shadows of the Vorka, the human soldier watched Earth. He didn't move. He didn't panic. He waited. But Earth kept silent. Inside Earth Command, scientists argued. He's still human. One said, we can bring him back. Another replied, did you even read his brain scans before he was taken by the Korlaks? He wasn't human anymore back then. General Harper finally spoke. The Korlaks didn't kill him. They unlocked him. Silence followed. The human soldier sent one final message. Just 3 words. Let me in. The message repeated every 30 seconds, each time. His voice sounded colder, each time. The words sounded less human. The scientists ran simulations. They tried to guess what he could do if he landed. None of the results ended well. One result showed all of Earth's systems taken over in 2 hours. Another showed worldwide panic in 10 minutes. The worst one, human extinction. In just 5 days, a young tech whispered. But he's one of us. General Harper nodded. Double quotes, yes, he said. And that's why we're scared. The warship Vorka stopped moving. It just floated in orbit, watching Earth like a hawk. No energy weapons charged. No threats sent. Only silence that was worse, because something quiet always plans inside the ship. The soldier sat in the dark. He didn't need light. He could see through metal now. He could hear the heartbeats of the Earth commanders. He could smell fear through space. He waited. And he remembered. He remembered being human. He remembered the battlefield where his team was wiped out. He remembered the lab that fixed him. He remembered the Korlax who thought they could break him. But most of all, he remembered Earth leaving him. They never came for him. They assumed he died. Now, he had returned. But Earth was afraid, and fear has a smell. He could smell it clearly now, inside Earth Command. Another meeting began. Should we destroy the Vorka? One general asked. But what if it doesn't work? Another replied. General Harper stood slowly. If we fire, and he survives, we'll have no second chance. No one spoke. That night, the soldier turned off the Vorka's lights. He sent one last message, not a voice, not text, but a memory. He uploaded a full memory sequence to Earth's system. It showed everything. The cages, the torture, the experiments, how the Korlax laughed while cutting him open, how he killed his first captor with his bare hands, how he tore through walls using only rage, how he begged Earth to come save him, and no one came. When the memory played inside Earth Command, everyone went silent. Some cried, some left the room. General Harper stayed. He watched every second. Then he said, "We made him. Now we don't know how to unmake him." The president of Earth finally gave the order. Do not let him land. The warship remained in orbit for 3 more days. Still, cold, silent. Then something unexpected happened. The ship turned around, not toward the stars, but toward Mars. He's leaving, an officer asked. No, Harper said. He's choosing. What? To become something more. From the red sky of Mars, a signal was sent to Earth. The soldier's voice spoke calmly. You were my home. Now, I build my own. This time, I don't ask permission. Mars went dark. All systems shut down. The satellites stopped working. When they returned hours later, they showed something new on the surface. A base. Large, growing, alive. And at its center a black flag with a human skull surrounded by stars. He had made a new home. Not for humans. Not for aliens, but for something. In between. Mars turned red again. Not the red of dust and silence, but the red of warning lights and war. The soldier had landed, and he was building something terrible. From space, Earth's satellites saw it growing, huge black towers rising. From the surface, shaped like human bones, strange machines moved on the ground, faster than any rover. Weapons pointed at the sky. Smoke rose from giant factories. But there were no workers. No army. Only him. He didn't need help. He had become something more. He had the Korlax's ship. He had their weapons. He had their data. And now, he had a mission. Earth Command was terrified. General Harper stood in the war room, staring at Mars on the giant screen. How is he building all that alone? A young officer asked. Harper's voice was low. He's not alone anymore. The soldier had created new life. Not human, not alien. Machines that walked like men, but had no faces. Drones that flew like birds, but screamed like wolves. Tanks with no drivers, walls that could move. And one thing even worse, a voice that could take over machines through radio waves. He had become a one-man empire, and he was calling it the Red Rebellion. He sent a message to Earth. You left me behind. You feared what I became. Now I offer others what you refused me, freedom. Come, if you dare. Not everyone on Earth hated him. Some people began to ask questions. Why did we abandon him? Was he really a monster, or just a man we broke? Soon, protests began in cities across Earth. People shouted his name, not in fear, but in praise. They called him the Red Soldier. Some even wore black uniforms with red lines, trying to copy his style. A movement was rising. Earth tried to stop it, but the Red Rebellion had already spread. On moons and outer stations, workers started painting his symbol on old ships. Soldiers turned off their radios and said, "We follow the Forgotten One." General Harper spoke to the president. "We have a choice," he said. "Talk to him, or fight him." The president replied, "If we talk, we admit we were wrong." Harper's eyes narrowed. "If we don't talk, he'll make sure we're dead." On Mars, inside the Black Tower, the soldier stood tall. He was no longer just a man. His bones had wires in them. His skin healed like steel. His eyes glowed red in the dark. And deep inside his chest was a second heartbeat, artificial, powerful, like a war drum. The rebellion grew. Saturn's mining stations went silent. Jupiter's moon colonies sent messages of support to Mars. Even a few alien races, enemies of Earth and Korlax, sent weapons to the Red Tower, not because they liked him, but because they feared what would happen if they didn't. He didn't just want revenge. He wanted change. He wanted a galaxy where no soldier would be left behind again. But to build that world, he needed to burn the old one. Earth finally responded. They sent a fleet. 10 warships, thousands of soldiers, all aimed at Mars. He didn't run. He sent one message back, bring more. The red tower lit up like a volcano. Missiles rose from under the dust. Satellites fell from the sky, hacked and taken over. Drones swarmed. The machines screamed. The war had begun. The first Earth fleet didn't even land. Only 3 ships made it back. The rest were torn apart, hacked, or pulled down by black beams of gravity the soldier had designed from Korlax tech. One surviving pilot said, "We never saw him. We only heard his voice, and then we crashed." Back on Earth, fear returned. The media called him a terrorist. The people called him a hero. Some said he had lost his mind. Others said he had found his purpose. Deep inside the red tower, the soldier stood before a mirror. He looked at his reflection, skin pale, eyes glowing, hands made of both flesh and steel, and he asked one question, "Am I still human?" The mirror didn't answer, but a whisper came through the walls, "You are what they made you. Now make them pay." The Red Rebellion had begun, and it would not stop. Not until someone remembered what it meant to be human. In a secret base under Earth's surface, 3 men sat in silence. They were not politicians, not scientists, not commanders. They were soldiers, old soldiers, and they knew the man on Mars better than anyone, because once he fought beside them. His name had been erased from Earth records, but they still remembered him. To them, he was Captain Rail Maddox, the strongest of them, the bravest, the one who never left a man behind, until Earth left him. The 3 men were his old squad, Unit 9, Ghost Division. Each one had scars from the same war. Each one had once taken orders from Maddox. And now, they had been called again. This time, not to fight with him, but to stop him. General Harper stood in front of them. He built an army on Mars. You've seen the reports. He's not the same. The oldest soldier, Briggs, spoke first. He's still in there, somewhere. Are you sure? Harper asked. Because what's up there is not human anymore. Briggs looked down. That's not true. The second soldier, Kale, said quietly. He was always more than human. That's why we followed him. They had a choice: kill him, or try to bring him back. They took a small stealth ship. No weapons, no backup, no AI, just the 3 of them, heading toward the most dangerous place in the galaxy. Mars. As they entered orbit, Red Rebellion drones spotted them. They didn't fire. Instead, they opened a landing path. As if he knew. The 3 soldiers stepped onto the red ground. The air was thin. The sky was angry, and above them stood the massive black tower, pulsing with red light. It looked alive, and it was watching them. Then the door opened. No guards, no weapons. Only silence, and a voice, "Come in, brothers." They walked through dark metal halls. Walls moved as they passed. The air hummed with power. And then, they saw him. Captain Rail Maddox, the red soldier, the man they once called leader. He looked almost the same. Same tall frame, same sharp eyes. But something had changed. His skin was too perfect. His movement was too smooth. His voice was too calm. Like a man, or a machine that remembered being a man. Briggs stepped forward. "Rail, it's us." "I know," the soldier said. "I watched you land. I let you in." Kale looked around. Why build all this? Why start a war?" Rail didn't blink. "I didn't start a war. Earth did when they left me behind." The 3rd soldier, Lynn, stepped closer. "You were our leader, but now you're creating chaos. You've already killed thousands." "I freed thousands," Rail replied. "Earth calls them traitors. I call them survivors." Briggs reached out a hand. "You can stop this, Rail. Come home." Rail looked at the hand. Then he said something that broke them all. "Home. I buried home on that alien lab table. I begged for rescue. I waited, and they sent no one, not even you." Kale lowered his head. "We didn't know. They told us you were dead. You believed them." Rail whispered. A long silence. Then he asked, "Would you have left me if you knew?" None of them answered. That was the answer. The red soldier turned away. "I don't hate you. I remember every mission we fought, every life we saved." He looked over the red planet through the black glass window. "But I'm not your captain anymore. I'm what Earth made me to be, a weapon. And now, I choose where I point." Lynn stepped forward. "If there's still a part of Rail Maddox in there, don't do this. Don't burn the world." Rail smiled slightly. "That part of me still lives, and that's why I burn it." Suddenly, alarms sounded. Earth had sent another fleet, bigger this time. Rail didn't panic. He raised a hand, and the black tower responded like a living beast. Weapons rose. Engines powered up. The Red Army moved into position. He looked at his 3 old friends. "I won't stop," he said. Not until Earth changes or burns. Then we failed you, Briggs said. Twice. Rail nodded once. You were the only ones who came. He turned to go. Leave now. This war is no longer yours. They returned to their ship, silent. Behind them, Mars glowed red with rage. And in the sky above, Earth's ships approached. But one thing had changed. Rail had let them go. Because somewhere inside the red soldier, a tiny spark of the man he once was still burned. Earth had never screamed before, but now it did. Not with voice, but with sirens, alarms, and a fear that touched every living soul. Because he was coming, Captain Rail Maddox, the red soldier, the forgotten one, the weapon Earth left behind. Mars had become a fortress. The red tower had grown taller than any building on Earth. The machines followed only one mind. And now that mind had made a final choice. He sent one message. No threats, no demands, just, the silence is over. And with that, the Red Fleet launched hundreds of ships. All black, all fast, all silent. Each one was shaped like a blade, cutting through space. And at the front his ship, the Vorka, now rebuilt, now alive. Earth's defenses lit up. Orbital cannons locked on. Missile shields activated. Fighters launched. The entire planet was ready for war. But deep under Earth, in the command center, General Harper stood with shaking hands. He whispered, "This is the day." Beside him, a scientist said, "The day we die?" Harper replied, "No, the day we're judged." As the Red Fleet came closer, Earth sent out a warning. "Turn back. This is your last chance." Rail didn't answer. Instead, the skies filled with strange music. His machines played it over all frequencies. It was not a war cry. It was a funeral song. Soft, cold, final. People across Earth looked up. Some ran, some prayed, some stood still, waiting. In orbit, Earth's ships fired first. Lasers, missiles, EMPs. The sky lit up like fireworks, but the Red Fleet didn't stop. Rail had planned for every weapon. He hacked half of Earth's defense grid before the missiles even landed. Satellites turned. Guns shut down. Ships froze. The Red Fleet broke through the first line in minutes. But then something unexpected. A signal from Earth. Private, direct, from General Harper. "Rail, if you can hear me, listen. This isn't Earth speaking. This is me, Harper, the man who gave the order to leave you behind. I thought you were dead. I was wrong. And now, I see what that mistake cost us." Double quote silence. Then Rail responded. His voice wasn't loud. It was tired. "Why now? Why say this now?" Harper answered, "Because we never said it before. And maybe it's not too late." At that moment, the world held its breath. Would he listen? Would the red soldier stop? Or had the war already begun? Inside the Vorka, Rail stood still. He stared at Earth. He could destroy it. He had the power. He had the reason. But then, he remembered them. Briggs, Kale, Lynn, his old team. The only ones who came to Mars not to kill him but to reach him. He remembered what they said. That he was still in there. That he still had a choice. Then Rail turned away from the planet. He walked to the control panel. His machine voice said, "Stand down." The Red Fleet stopped. Every ship, every drone. Every weapon. They all froze. The sky became silent again. Then he sent one last message. This time, not to Earth Command, not to any leader, but to the people. "I was one of you. You left me. You feared me. But I didn't become your enemy until you made me one. I chose war because I was alone. But now I see I was never truly forgotten. So I will not destroy, not today. But remember this: if you ever do this to another soldier, I will come back, and I won't stop next time." With that, the Red Fleet turned. They left Earth. Back to Mars. Back to the silence. Back to building something better. General Harper sat down, tears in his eyes. He looked at the young officer beside him. "Is it over?" the officer asked. Harper shook his head. "No. But we've been given one last chance." In the days that followed, things changed. Earth opened a new program. Project Red Mercy. Designed to protect all forgotten soldiers, to never leave another behind. And far away, on Mars, the Red Tower no longer glowed with war. It now stood as a warning, and it promised. At its top, Rail Maddox stood alone, still watching Earth. Still changed, still powerful, but not a monster. Not anymore, because on the day Earth cried out, he listened. And for the first time in years he forgave.